Hello and welcome to another installment of Analog Wavelength TV. I am Sean. Today we're going to talk about Oasis. Um, Interestingly, until about 2 weeks ago, I did not have a single piece of Oasis vinyl except for an original US 7-inch of Wonderwall. And for those of you who know anything about me and my approach to building my listening library, I like original pressings. I don't usually do reissues. I want to hear those albums the way they were originally. I want to hear the one that the artist heard, the one people got excited about, the one that critics judged, all that sort of thing, right? So Oasis vinyl is really, really hard to find if you want originals because it was the 90s and nobody wanted vinyl. They were all pressed on vinyl, not in the United States. Usually I like to get US pressings unless they're not an option. And with Oasis, only the last two albums were pressed in the US on vinyl. So for the most part, you're dealing with imports, mainly either UK or mainland Europe. So Oasis originals are not something to be taken lightly if you're trying to get them. With that said, about 2 weeks ago, I came into an unbelievable cache of Oasis originals. Every one of them was near mint. Some were still sealed, and the ones that weren't sealed had never been played. Unfortunately, it wasn't a complete library. So after I walked out of there, I still needed 5 releases in order to have every full-length album that they put out while they were a band, right? And so anything after 2008, I don't really care about unless, they stick together after this Live 25 reunion tour. And, if they record another album or something and they continue going, then I'll be interested in having the recordings again. But if you're talking about, compilations post 2008 or archival live releases, I'm not interested. I just want the stuff, while they were a going concern. So with that said, since I was still missing technically 5 albums, finding this cache of Oasis originals kind of inspired me to just bite the bullet hard and go and get the rest of the albums. And I'll let you guys know which ones came from the lot of perfect condition copies. And so, the idea is I'll show you each of these original pressings kind of as, up close. And also, just kind of talk about the album a little bit. So with that said, let's go ahead and kick it off with probably the greatest debut album of the 90s. Certainly one of the best, and probably one of the best debut rock albums of all time. So from 1994, this is Definitely Maybe. This is a UK original, Creation Records. So this copy is pretty nice. It's got a little stuff going on in the corner. A little bit of creasing. I mean, nothing awful for a 30-year-old record. So this is a double LP, and the cool thing about Definitely Maybe, on vinyl at least, is that when this came out, it actually has a vinyl-only bonus track called "Sad Song," and I'm not sure if "Sad Song" was released as a B-side on one of the singles. I'm sure it probably was, but anyway, it was a vinyl-only bonus track here, and so this is a double LP, and also, whoops, we'll get there in a second. So, I mean, this copy is pretty, untouched. Still got the very distinctive UK style white inner sleeves. And it also still had, which I think was cool, still has this mail-in info card where you could get some more information, I guess, about the band. So thought that was kind of cool. So I would probably say the jacket is, high end of VG, as are the discs. You know, there's some visible marks. Whoever bought this originally definitely played it. But I think overall it's been pretty well taken care of, and it plays very, very well. I would say it plays VG plus. It sounds great. It really does. So barring, I don't see me upgrading this copy anytime in the foreseeable future. You know, if I find a super, super nice one, maybe, but otherwise, this is a perfect copy for me. You know, as far as definitely maybe goes, I mean, any album that can start with a song half as good as Rock and Roll Star and just continue to get better after that is an album that's worthy of respect. I mean, there are so many all-time Oasis classics on this record, and I mean, just excellent, excellent songs. I mean, you got Rock and Roll Star, Live Forever, Up in the Sky, Columbia, Supersonic, Cigarettes and Alcohol, Slide Away, and I love how they close the album on this like acoustic kind of softer vibe with Married with Children. I mean, this album is a 10 out of 10. It is just perfect. All right. Next up, another. Well, I mean, I think this is Oasis' best album front to back. So here's What's the Story, Morning Glory from 1995. This is another UK original on Creation. So this one is kind of cool. There were two different pressing plants that pressed these. One was MPO, and the other one was DeMont. And the DeMont pressings had all black inner sleeves without a hole cut in the middle. But the MPO pressings actually have the same black inner sleeves, but with holes cut in the middle. So just kind of an interesting little tidbit, I suppose. You know, these this copy again is kind of high VG, plays as nice as it looks. I would say it plays VG plus for the most part. It's also got this cool kind of tri-fold cover, if you will. If it'll open for me, there we go. And it's kind of annoying though, because the second disc kind of goes in there. So it's a little strange, but yeah, it's nice. And like I said, it plays very, very well. So for me, this is peak Oasis. This is exactly what a sophomore album should have been. It was the same, but better. They took everything that was great about Definitely Maybe and just turned it up. And that's exactly what you want with a sophomore record. And so, you know, again, I mean, just so many classic songs on this. I mean, Hello, Roll With It, Wonderwall. I mean, that's side one. I mean, what an amazing side one, right? And then side two is another, you know, banger. It opens up with Don't Look Back in Anger, and then Hey Now. It's got the untitled track, and then there's actually a vinyl-only bonus track on this one as well. Again, so weird for the 90s when no one was buying vinyl, but they include a bonus track on the vinyl version only. Couldn't get it on CD or cassette, apparently. It's called Bonehead's Bank Holiday. Then, you know, side three is, I mean, they're all just banging sides. And yeah, I mean, if you're only going to own one Oasis album, this is probably the one to own. Perfect. 10 out of 10 in every way. All right. This is the first one from my amazing Oasis Mega Haul. So from 1997, this is Be Here Now. And this is another UK original on Creation. And this thing is absolutely perfect. It looks and sounds like the day it came home from the record store. The corners are perfect on it. I mean, it's just amazing. And, you know, I'm not a big stickler about these kinds of things, but it's also got these really nice custom inner sleeves, kind of heavy cardstock. It's 2 LPs. So here's the other one. and got a real nice gatefold jacket. So Be Here Now is a tough record for a lot of Oasis fans. So the most common criticisms you're going to hear about it is that the songs are too long. That's a fair criticism. And that it's way too produced. There are way too many layers to it. There, especially in the guitars. You hear 30 guitar overdubs and stuff. Yeah, that's also a fair criticism. Is it tough to sit through in one listen? Probably, yeah. I mean, it's 71 minutes. So, yeah, for a lot of folks, I think it would be tough. Sometimes it's even tough for me. And saying all that, I love this album. I love it to death. There are so many good songs on here. And again, some of them are too long. There are definitely tracks on here that could have been cut and probably been better for it. Songs like Magic Pie come to mind. But I mean, Do You Know What I Mean is on this. Don't Go Away, which I think was more of a hit in North America than it was in England, but I could be wrong about that. But I mean, some of my other favorite tracks on here are like, Fade In, Fade In Out. Stand By Me is great. I love My Big Mouth, always have. So, I mean, there's a lot to love on this record, but it takes an intellectual investment from the listener to really sit and appreciate this. Like, it takes a mental investment. You really have to sit and pay attention to it. Sometimes it's hard, but it pays dividends. This was just a cocaine-fueled binge of a record. And, well, if you haven't listened to it in a while, go back and listen to it again. It's better than you don't remember. Okay, so after that, we've got this album, The Master Plan. So this is an interesting one because it's a collection of B-sides. For those who don't know, Oasis B-sides were every bit as good as anything they put on an album. I mean, they play their B-sides live. I mean, how many bands do that? But anyway, I think a lot of Oasis fans, myself included, would consider it fair to say that the Master Plan actually stands on its own 2 feet as a proper studio album, save for the live version of I Am the Walrus that's on it. But this really does stand as a proper studio album, even though it's not. It's a compilation. All of this stuff had been released previously on singles. But I mean, songs like Acquiesce and Talk Tonight and Going Nowhere, Fade Away, Listen Up, God, Half the World Away. I mean, there are so many amazing songs on this record. It's essential. It's very, very rare that I would consider a B-side compilation to be essential, but you're really not getting the whole Oasis experience if you're not at least partially checking out the B-sides. And the scary part is there were still a ton of other previously released B-sides that were available for this album that didn't make the cut. And they could easily do another one of these, and it would be just as good of an album, I think. So, yeah, incredible. So this is an original UK pressing on Creation, and this was right around the time that Creation Records went bankrupt. And you can see the hype sticker that's still on the jacket. That was very common with UK pressings because they still weren't always shrink wrapping records in the UK from the factory, even in the 90s. And so a lot of times when these were sold in the US as imports, the whoever the distributor was that was importing them would actually shrink wrap them and slap a Made in England sticker on them. But yeah, so the hype sticker would probably come off pretty easily, but I'm not going to test that. Usually those hype stickers were made to be peeled off, but considering it's been sitting on the record for 28 years now, I don't think I'm gonna test it. I mean, it's been sitting there since 1998. I think it can stay. And then this one, the package, it's got a nice gatefold cover. It's 2 LPs, so it's got these nice custom inner sleeves. This copy is very high end of VG Plus. Plays wonderfully, sounds great, looks great. So this is almost undoubtedly my forever copy. All right, next up. So this is the only non-UK pressing that came from the Near Mint lot. So this is Standing on the Shoulder of Giants, and this is actually the mainland Europe pressing on Helter Skelter Records. So this is still original, it came out in 2000. This album, so let's see, it's got a nice gatefold cover, and let's see, it's got a cool little artwork insert, and got a custom inner sleeve here, lyrics, credits, all that good stuff. This thing is absolutely beautiful. It was sealed when I opened it. And yeah, just unbelievable. So as far as this album is concerned, a lot of Oasis fans rank this at the very bottom of the list of best Oasis records. And that's fair. However, I'm going to preface this by saying that the worst Oasis record is probably still the best album of a lot of bands' careers. This album is not bad. It's only at the bottom because something has to be at the bottom. So there are some really great tracks on here, but there's a bit of a story behind it. So after that, after the sessions for Be Here Now just went, completely bonkers, Bonehead and Giggsy decided to leave the band, leaving just the Gallagher brothers and Alan White. And so the band sounds a little bit lost here. They continued on as a three-piece, used some studio musicians to help fill things out. This album is definitely different. If you want, the 90s Britpop Oasis sound, there's a little bit of that in here, but there's a lot more to it than that. This is also the album where Oasis started to become a democratic outfit in terms of songwriting. This is the first Oasis record to have a song written by someone other than Noel Gallagher. Liam wrote a song on this called Little James, and that song is sticky sweet. I'm not even going to say it's not good. It's hard to listen to because to me it feels disingenuous given Liam Gallagher's public persona, but I digress. There are still some Stone Cold Oasis classics on this. Fucking in the Bushes is the opening track, and that is still to this day the song that they walk on stage to. Go Let It Out, Noel Gallagher has said numerous times that he thinks that's one of the best songs he's ever written. I love Put Your Money Where Your Mouth Is. Gas Panic is incredible. I adore Where Did It All Go Wrong. That chorus is so anthemic and so catchy. I love it. I Can See a Liar is pretty good. Again, I wouldn't consider this album essential, but it's nowhere near as bad as people would make it out to be. This is not a bad album at all. It's just there are a whole bunch more in the band's discography that are better. But like I said, this is still the best album of some band's entire career. They just sound a little bit lost, like they're trying to find their way, like they're learning to crawl on this record as a democratic unit. All right, this was the big one. This, again, came from the Near Mint lot. This was sealed when I bought it. This is an original from 2000 of Familiar to Millions. This was recorded at Wembley Stadium in 2000. This is just about the complete show. I think some of the in-between song banter was edited out. And during this show, Liam Gallagher let the audience sing the entire chorus for Wonderwall, and they didn't want that for the album. So what they did instead was they took his vocal from a show in Japan on the same tour and synced it up with the music from the Wembley concert. And so that's really the biggest edit to this. The other thing is, yeah, they did a cover of Helter Skelter at the end, but that was actually not from Wembley either. That was recorded, I think, in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, here in the United States. But other than that, this is pretty much the whole show, and this is probably, I think, the rarest piece of Oasis vinyl that exists. These original pressings. So this is a UK pressing on Big Brother, and so Creation had gone under at this point. And so what happened was, in the UK, they created a label called Big Brother that they ran themselves. I think Big Brother being a reference to Noel Gallagher. And then in Europe, they Sony Music created a label called Helter Skelter that was there purely to put out Oasis material. And so this is a beautiful trifold cover here. So we'll kind of, and 3 LPs with different inner sleeves and all kinds of things. I'll show you guys these. So also comes with this info card that's like round, kind of cool. So this is heavy vinyl, feels like 180 gram. And so you got disc 1, the inner sleeves, and then go ahead and put that back in here. Oh, yes, and I was able to save the hype sticker off of the shrink wrap here. So there you go. And so here's the second. And then there we go. And there's number 3. So this is a very, very nice package, and the fact that it was still sealed, I mean, how could I possibly say no to that? So luckily, this album was recorded night 1. They played 2 nights at Wembley in 2000. Night number 2 was broadcast live on MTV, and it was a terrible show. Liam was blitzed out of his mind. He was mumbling words. I mean, it was just awful. But night 1 was good and salvageable, and so they used night 1 on this album. Night 2 was probably the worst gig Oasis ever played in history. But yeah, super happy to have that one. All right, next up, from 2002. This is another one that usually makes its way to the bottom of the list of best Oasis albums. My hot take, this is my favorite Oasis record after the first 3. So this is Heathen Chemistry from 2002. This is a UK original on Big Brother. And this is a really nice package. Comes in a cool glossy sleeve, or glossy jacket rather, with like a matte jacket on the inside, inside the gatefold. It's got 2 discs here. And it also includes a really cool booklet here that has all kinds of cool stuff. You know, pictures and all kinds of stuff. So, very cool. All right, so as far as Heathen Chemistry is concerned, if Standing on the Shoulder of Giants was the democratic version of Oasis learning how to crawl, this is them learning how to walk. And I was here for it. I do not understand why people hate on this record so much. First off, the Hindu Times Little by Little, Stop Crying Your Heart Out are all stone cold Oasis classics. I like most of the songs on this. And, with this, Noel wrote the majority of the songs. Liam has at least one, maybe two on here. And then I know Gem Archer and Andy Bell also contributed one song each. They were the people who stepped in to replace Bonehead and Giggsy when they left the band. And they remain with the band to this day. They were playing with them on the Live 25 tour, which I thought was cool. And so, this is the first Oasis album that, really opened up the songwriting. The last one was all Noel except, one song from Liam. And then this one, yeah, they opened it up. And so, in addition to the Hindu Times and Little by Little and Stop Crying Your Heart Out, I love Songbird. I like Probably All in the Mind. Force of Nature is cool. Better Man, I really like. So, the thing is, right, I think the issue a lot of people have with this album is that maybe it's not quite as energetic and loud and in your face as people are used to Oasis records being. And I think that's a fair criticism, but I'm okay with that. This, from a sonic perspective, this might be the best sounding Oasis record out there. This particular one, this vinyl is only 2 discs because they cut it at 45 RPM, which I don't really buy into the hype of all that. Saying that when you cut it at 45 it sounds better, but I digress. This album is mixed incredibly well. I think it's well produced, and just sonically, it sounds fantastic. It doesn't have that compressed, clip, loud, in your face sound that you were used to from like the first 3 records. And some people say that's how Oasis should be listened to, and I agree with that. But there's nothing wrong with a little bit of change of pace, and that's exactly what you got here. And man, I've always been here for it. I love this album, I really do. Okay. So now we're getting to 2005's Don't Believe the Truth. So this was the first Oasis album to actually be pressed on vinyl in the United States by Epic Records. However, this was also part of, oh yes, and sorry, I forgot to mention, Heathen Chemistry was part of the near mint unplayed lot, but this one was too. It is not a U.S. pressing, though. This is a UK copy on, a UK copy on Big Brother. And I think knowing the provenance of where these records came from, I'm pretty sure that the original owner probably bought this on Oasis website, which is why it's a UK copy. The copies sold on their website came with an art print. And so I'm pretty sure that's where it came from, because this copy has the art print. It was actually still sealed when I bought it. I did not like where the hype sticker was because it was right there, right in the middle of the photo. And so I decided to take a chance, and the hype sticker came right off. So what I did was I stuck it to a piece of paper and then cut it out of the piece of paper and put it in the jacket. So I'll show you everything that this comes with. So this is front and back, and then this is the gatefold, which is really cool. I like that photo a lot. And then another one of these info cards. And then here is the numbered art print. So this one's number 1624. It's just a print of the album art on some nice matte paper. Here is the hype sticker. So you can see on the back of the hype sticker, it's white. That's because that's actually a piece of paper. And then it also has a custom inner sleeve. And the disc, of course, is near mint. It was new until I bought it. And so... All right. So my thoughts on this album. I really like this one. So I'm going to use my crawling walking analogy again. If Standing on the Shoulder was Democratic Oasis learning how to crawl. And if Heathen Chemistry was them learning how to walk, this album is where they got up, got on their feet, and started actually walking. There are a bunch of great songs on this. Noel wrote 6 of them. Liam wrote 3. And then Gem Archer and Andy Bell each had 1. My favorites on this are probably Turn Up the Sun, Lila, Mucky Fingers to a point. Mucky Fingers definitely channels a little bit of the Velvet Underground, which is fine. I mean, Oasis is one of those bands that has always worn their influences on their sleeve. That does not bother me at all. The Importance of Being Idle is, I think, one of my all-time favorite Oasis tracks. Guess God Thinks I'm Able might be the greatest song Liam Gallagher ever wrote. I really like Keep the Dream Alive. Part of the Queue is phenomenal. There's a lot of great stuff on this. I remember when this came out, this was kind of being billed as like a comeback album for Oasis. And I mean, whether or not it succeeded in that capacity, I guess depends on who you ask. But either way, solid Oasis record. All right. After that, the band decided to put out a compilation. And so in 2006, they put out Stop the Clocks. So this is a UK original on Big Brother. This is a 3 LP box set with a booklet. And this also came from the nice near mint lot. And so this has just about every track that the casual fan of Oasis would need. I mean, if all you need is a compilation, Don't Stop the Clocks is pretty solid. So you got Rock and Roll Star, Some Might Say, Talk Tonight, Lila, The Importance of Being Idle, Wonderwall, Slide Away, Cigarettes and Alcohol, The Master Plan, Live Forever, Acquiesce, Supersonic, Half the World Away, B-side, Go Let It Out, Songbird, Morning Glory. Oh yeah, Acquiesce is a B-side too. Champagne Supernova, Don't Look Back in Anger. So I mean, all the Oasis tracks that the standard fan would need. I am actually looking at this for the first time. I did not buy this when I bought all the other albums out of that lot. I went back today and grabbed this one because they still had it. And so you guys are looking at this with me for the first time. This was sealed when I bought it. So this is the outer box. And then I cut the hype sticker out of the shrink wrap. So there's the hype sticker. And then it comes with 3 LPs. And so this is LP number 1. It says which one's which on the spine. So this is number 1 here. Let's take a look. Okay, so it's got these black inner sleeves with holes in them. All right. Let's take a look at the vinyl here. Okay, 180 gram, very nice. Nice and flat. Cool. I'll dig into these more off camera, but so this is LP1. And then we got LP2. And then we got LP3 here. And then it also comes with this really nice booklet. So, one thing I will say about Oasis over the years is that they put a lot of thought into their vinyl packaging, even though most of their popular albums were coming out when no one cared about vinyl. I, for one, really appreciate that. And, it's funny, I was buying vinyl as a teenager in the 90s. I would go to Tower Records and I would buy, whatever the popular titles of the day were on vinyl. And a lot of my original 90s vinyl, I may have to do a video with some of my original 90s vinyl that I bought back in the day. But, I never remember seeing these Oasis originals. And, Tower Records was definitely known for selling imports. Because a lot of times, like I said, they weren't pressing this stuff on vinyl in the U.S. in 1998, or in the 90s in general. And so, yeah, I may need to do a video on all the pressings that I bought back in the 90s, but suffice it to say, I probably would have bought some of these back in the day if I had ever seen them, but I just don't remember ever seeing them. So yeah, so Stop the Clocks. This is a perfect compilation. Even if you're new to Oasis and you just want to dip your toe in the water, this is a great one to have. And you can go and stream it, or you can find it, I'm sure, on CD or even cassette, super super cheap. So yeah, good introduction to the band and good for casual fans. All right, last up, this is the only U.S. Oasis pressing that I have. I love this record, and I think this is Oasis' most underrated record. From 2008, this remains their last studio album. This is Dig Out Your Soul. This is an original copy on Reprise Records. Has the Big Brother imprint on it, but it was Warner and Reprise that did all the distribution back in the day. So this is a really nice copy. The jacket and the vinyl is pretty much near mint. I think it's, yeah, I think it's probably fair to call this near mint. But anyway, so it's got, there's the back, and then got this cool artwork in the gatefold, and then two custom inner sleeves. So there's one. And then this is one that has picture label on side A, and then the actual info for both sides on the side B label. So why do I consider this to be the most underrated Oasis record? Simple fact of the matter is nobody ever really talks about this record. When you get into a discussion with people, here's the other inner sleeve. When you get into a discussion with people about Oasis albums, of course you're going to talk about the 90s records. Those are the most popular, well-known, and well-loved ones. But the other thing is people will mention the 2000s records. Even if they don't like them, people will at least talk about them, right? They'll express how much they don't like them. Nobody ever talks about this one. And it's amazing to me. So there's so much good stuff. So again, I'm going to go back to my crawling, walking analogy, right? Standing on the Shoulder was them learning to crawl. Heathen Chemistry was them learning to walk. And then Don't Believe the Truth was them getting up on their feet and walking. This is where they took off and ran. This album is so good. And no one ever talks about it. Like, you mention it, and people oftentimes are like, oh yeah, I totally forgot about that one. Wow, I haven't listened to that one in ages. Why not? Oh my God, Bag It Up, The Turning, Waiting for the Rapture, The Shock of the Lightning is one of my probably top 5 favorite Oasis tracks. I'm Out of Time is great. I certainly appreciate the sentiment and the humor of Get Off Your High Horse Lady. Falling Down I really like. Just so much great stuff on this album. If you've never heard this and you're at least partially familiar with the Oasis catalog, for God's sake, go listen to it. It's so good. I love this album to pieces. I really do. So there it is. I am really happy to finally have Oasis checked off the list as far as all the vinyl I need. It wasn't easy. It wasn't cheap, but it's done. I'll be honest, I had to sell a few things out of my library in order to help fund it, but that's okay. That's just part of this hobby, and that's just how it goes. You can't always keep everything you get. So I could not be happier to finally have this band checked off my list. And I'm going to enjoy these records for years and years and years to come. So anyway, thanks for listening to me ramble about these records. Hope you guys found something in here to enjoy. And I will catch you guys next time. Take it easy.